Welcome to Launch Projects Right, a short series designed to help you start initiatives with confidence and clarity. In this video, we'll focus on practical steps to set a project up for success, from initial idea to formal mandate, with micro-learning friendly tips and concise guidance you can apply immediately whether you're planning a YouTube series or an internal program. This deck is organized to walk you through 5 core areas: the kickoff mindset, how to craft a project charter, assessing feasibility and risk, getting approval and planning next steps, and common initiation pitfalls to avoid. Think of this as a quick roadmap that will guide each early decision and keep stakeholders aligned as the project progresses. Starting strong matters, so this section explores the kickoff mindset you need to adopt. Align stakeholders, define clear objectives, and create a culture of early accountability. A good kickoff reduces confusion later, builds momentum, and gives your team permission to act with a shared purpose, which is exactly what turns an idea into an achievable project. The initiation phase sets the project's trajectory, and getting it right pays off in 2 big ways. It reduces risk by avoiding vague front-end decisions. Research shows many failures start there, and it helps secure the resources you need. Early clarity in scope, objectives, and constraints prevents costly rework and makes it easier to obtain funding, people, and executive buy-in. Turning an idea into a formal mandate starts with understanding market drivers and strategic fit, then distilling the concept into a crisp elevator statement. Scan the market to validate the problem-solution fit, align the idea with organizational goals, and use a short, compelling pitch to win sponsorship and early support from key stakeholders. Now we move into charter crafting, the step that turns a mandate into an executable plan. The project charter is effectively the project's birth certificate. It names the leader, authorizes funding, and captures scope, assumptions, and constraints. A well-crafted charter sets boundaries, clarifies success criteria, and becomes the reference point for all future decisions. A strong charter does 4 things. It formally authorizes the project and funding, names the project manager to ensure accountability, documents high-level objectives and constraints, and prevents scope creep by establishing clear boundaries. Together, these elements create a compact guide that supports both decision-making and downstream planning, keeping the team focused and resourced appropriately. Writing smart objectives turns vague ambitions into clear, testable targets: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Translate broad goals into concrete outcomes that can be tracked and validated, and use the supporting image of a planning workspace as a reminder that practical tools, like metrics and timelines, make those objectives real and actionable. Map stakeholders early using a power interest grid to identify who matters most, record communication preferences to meet them where they are, and build a coalition of supporters. A stakeholder map helps you tailor engagement strategies, anticipate resistance, and marshal the backing you need to move from approval to execution without surprises. Assessing feasibility and risk early prevents optimism from outpacing reality, so this section focuses on pragmatic scans of technical complexity, regulatory hurdles, and resource demands. Rapid feasibility checks help you understand whether an idea is viable, while early risk thinking forces realistic expectations and clearer conversations with sponsors and teams. Conduct a high-level feasibility scan by combining a technical and regulatory assessment with budget and schedule realism. Use analogous benchmarks and expert interviews to test viability, and evaluate resource availability and timeline assumptions to temper enthusiasm with practical constraints. This upfront discipline saves time and reduces the chance of costly surprises later on. Create an early risk register to capture known unknowns like market shifts, funding gaps, skill shortages, and technology maturity. Assign probability impact scores to prioritize focus, name risk owners for accountability, and use the register to justify contingency reserves that protect the plan and build stakeholder confidence in your risk approach. With feasibility confirmed and risks documented, it's time to secure approval and prepare next steps that move the project into planning. This phase formalizes the sponsor's decision, archives approved documents, and sets up the practical work needed to transition into detailed scheduling, resourcing, and kickoff activities that keep momentum alive. Treat sponsor sign-off as a ritual that includes a formal review meeting to present the charter and risk snapshot, archiving the approved charter in a version-controlled system, and publicizing the decision across the organization. These steps create a psychological contract, unlock funding, and mobilize the project manager's authority so execution can begin with clarity. After approval, transition to detailed planning by releasing the kickoff calendar, reserving key personnel, opening project codes and systems, and scheduling planning workshops. Communicate a concise charter summary to all stakeholders to maintain momentum and align expectations, ensuring everyone knows what comes next and what success will look like in the early phases. Before you wrap up, be aware of common initiation pitfalls that derail projects: hidden sponsors, ambiguous success metrics, and insufficient independent review. Being vigilant about these traps during initiation helps prevent misalignment later and preserves the integrity of the decision process, so challenges can be addressed deliberately rather than reactively. To avoid initiation traps, seek clarity on sponsorship and success metrics to eliminate ambiguity, and implement a due diligence checklist with independent reviews to challenge assumptions. Document findings, capture decisions, and keep the initiation process transparent so the project's foundation remains robust and defensible as it moves into execution. Thank you for watching this overview of how to launch projects right. If you found these steps helpful, consider revisiting the charter and risk tools when you begin your next initiative. Clear initiation practices shorten time to value, reduce rework, and make it easier to scale successful projects. So take a moment now to apply one idea from this session to your current work.